Hello, good day and welcome. I'm going to be solving NECO 2019 Office Practice Past Question, Question 12. The scope of an investigation on which a report is to be written is called A. Administrative panel, B. Government white paper, C. Scope of reference, D. Subject matter, and E. Terms of reference. So, we have to pick an option which is described as the scope of an investigation on which a report is to be written. And for us to do this, we have to analyze each of these options. And option A here says Administrative panel. Now, administrative panel are simply appointed, like their panels appointed. They're actually appointed to decide. They are appointed to decide about complaints concerning what certain issue. They decide complaints concerning certain issues in an organization. Now B here says what? Government white paper. Now government white paper, it just simply refers to ways by which what government present policies, preferences before it is what introduced into what legislation. And so therefore it allows what public opinion. So I say government policies are the ways. There are ways. Government policies are ways. These are ways the government does what introduce or present policy preferences. They present policy preferences before it is introduced. Introduces what? Before it introduces legislation. In other words, it allows for what? Public opinion. So government white papers are methods that what allows for public opinion pertaining what certain policies that the government is about to what to present or to put into law. Now see here says scope of reference. Scope of reference. Now scope of reference refers to the program blocks in which an identifier can be referenced. It just simply refers to what? To the programs via which, that is through which, an identifier can be referenced. An identifier can be referenced. Now, outside the scope of reference, an identifier may not be defined at all, or may be defined what, or may even be defined differently. So once an identifier is outside the scope of reference, he might not even be identified. Now, DS is subject matter. Subject matter. Now, subject matter is the scope of an investigation on which a report is to be written. It is described as what? Scope of investigation. Scope of investigation on which a report is to be written. In other words, we can say subject matter is the what? Is the matter presented for consideration in discussion, investigation, thoughts, or study. So when we say subject matter, it simply refers to the what? To the matter, like is the central matter. The matter was presented for consideration in any discussion, in any investigation. So therefore, it refers to the scope of an investigation. Maybe an investigation is about to be made in an organization. Now the subject matter of that investigation is what? Is the scope of that investigation on which what the report is to be written. Then ES is terms of reference. Now term of reference is defined as what? The purpose and structure of a project. The purpose and structure of a project. Committee, meeting, or people that agree to work together. So the projects and structure of the purpose and structure of a project, of a committee, people who agree to work together, is referred to as what? Terms of reference. Now the question says the scope of an investigation on which a report is to be written is called, and you agree with me that it was option D, subject matter. That is the answer, because subject matter, like I told you, is what? Is the scope of an investigation on which a report is to be written. That is, it is the matter that is considered what? For discussion. matter what that is considered, presented for consideration in discussion, investigation. So that is what subject matter. So the answer to this question is option D. Option D. Thank you and God bless you. Please ensure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.